anytime I see a verse that keeps repeating itself in various different places, the same verse, I know that it's a verse that I need to study some. And I'm probably going to end up sharing it because it's always something amazing. And I was reading the other day in Deuteronomy 31. Actually, I had read through 30 and I had come to 31. And in verse 8, so Moses is going to die before he leads the Israelites into the promised land. He's not going to make it. And God is like, I want you to speak this to Joshua, and I'm going to commission him to take your place as the leader to carry the people into the promised land. So this is Moses saying to Joshua what God told him to say. He says in verse 8, the Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. So I read that, and I was reading the Bible app, and I highlighted it, and I was sitting there just thinking about it. It was in the morning early, fairly dark and quiet, and I'm thinking, well, Jesus said something like that also. And so I started looking it up and realized that what I was thinking about was in the Great Commission, when Jesus is telling the disciples, go into all nations preaching the gospel, and I am with you always. And so I love to see how the Old Testament and the New Testament just continue to speak to God's character and nature and his faithfulness. I just love that. So I was like, oh, that's just so cool. So Tuesday night, I'm at my group, and at the end we were just sharing things that we had learned or read, and so I was sharing about that and how I thought it was just amazing. So then yesterday I can't remember what I was on, but there that verse was, and I was like, all right. And then today when I got up, I had like an Instagram notification, so I went to Instagram, and then I clicked over to Reels, and it was somebody I don't even follow, and it was a reel with that verse on it. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll study that some, right? So that's what I did today, and I just wanted to share it with y'all because it was just a blessing to me to just know God more and to be fully confident in the fact that he is always with us. So I made a few notes, and I just wanted to tell y'all that in Hebrews, the author also refers to the same verse in Deuteronomy in Hebrews 13:5-6, where he quotes that. And then also in 1 Chronicles 28:20 and Joshua 1:5, God also says in those places that he will never leave or forsake them. And now this was all right, different. We've talked about this before, different situations, different people groups, but all reflecting back to the same character and nature that is consistent from the Old Testament throughout the New Testament and speaks to the goodness and greatness and faithfulness of our God. And I wrote this down. I said, God makes a way. So anytime God has called us to do something, and we're all called to for the Great Commission, but if maybe he's called you specifically to start a ministry or to do something like that, anytime that you know that God has called you to do something, he will make a way for that to happen. He directs your steps when you seek him in these areas that you're wanting to pursue, but he will also sustain you in that way that you're going to go. He provides what you need to accomplish that, because he is put that into, God plans everything. What does it mean that he goes before us? Well, he's before everything, and he's after everything, and he is currently in everything, right? So he's not confined by any space or time or anything like that. So he's set us out on a course. He's going to provide everything we need to accomplish that which he sets us out for. And then God will keep us along that path, keep us, hold us. He will hold on to us, and he will not let us go. So those are all great things that I wrote down, and it's just a blessing to my heart to know that. And I 100%, that is a fact. And anytime that we're called to do something great for the Lord, it is a call to obedience. We have to obey Him in that thing before it starts, during it, after it. And it's a reminder of what our source of strength is. That's why He can say, don't be discouraged, don't be afraid, because it's Him. He is the source of that courage that you need to walk through that thing, whatever it is. So anyway, I just had to share. I love y'all.